also
every single Warsaw Pact country carried a gas mask. That much is certain.
And a lot of
most of them did not. East Germany. Now, most of them didn't carry chemical suits all the time. Now, Poland and East Germany did. They had special pouches, and they always carried them on their upper back. Hungarians, I've seen quite a few photos of them wearing them. They always almost had them, and the Czechs always had them.
Yeah, the Czechs they started off with them on their back like the East Germans, and then they moved to a smaller, more simplified version that fit in their bag on the bottom pocket.
The East Germans and the Polish kept them on their back throughout the whole Cold War.
Yeah.
So did the Hungarians, and so did the Soviets. I don't know about Romanians, and I don't know about Bulgarians, but I do know that the Czechoslovakians had it on their back up until about 1975, where they then came out with a new version, which was small enough to be compact and fit into the gas mask bag. It's more so a cape than a suit, though.
Yeah, it's more simplified. It's prone.
It's much more simplified, and I would not rely on that.
Yeah, more prone to damage and probably not very reliable.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is that, while we're on the topic of NBC, let's just go on with this, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be honest, Bulgaria is my least known about NBC. I'm going to be honest, I really know very little about Bulgarians NBC. I don't even know what suits they use. I barely know what masks they use, because they used a whole bunch of different types. So let's just kind of exclude Bulgaria, because I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Now, and let's exclude Romania, because I don't know much about them. All I know is about the mask and the bag, but they have a few different types of bags, and then they have two different types of masks, so Romania is kind of confusing as well. So let's leave that out.
Yeah, they're a bit confusing.
Let's do this to Soviet Union, which I know about as much as you can know about NBC for Soviet Union. Poland, which I know most of what there is to know. East Germany, which I know most about. Czechoslovakia, kind of know about. Hungary, I kind of know a little bit about. So let's leave to those 5.
All right.
Now, let's start with the Soviet Union. They have the OZK chemical suit, or OP1, or whatever you want to call it. I've seen it called several different things, but most people tend to call it the OZK. They also had the L1, but that wasn't used by most soldiers. That was for heavy-duty decontamination and civil defense and all that. OZK would have been the most common. It comes in gray and a greenish color. It would be carried. Now, there's a few different methods. First of all, if you're a paratrooper, it would be left in the BMP, or the BMD, or the BTR, or whatever you have. Most likely the BMD, but you could have had the BTR too. Depends. It really does. Or it would be tied to your RD-54, either the bottom, the top, or horseshoe around. It doesn't matter. Or you'd be wearing it. That's for paratroopers. Now, for regular infantry, I've seen a few different things. First of all, I haven't seen, but I've heard or / been told, but not by a veteran, so I can't confirm how accurate this one is that on certain cases they would carry it on the vest, rolled around along with the greatcoat. Now, another method is folded up and put where the plash goes on the suspenders. And then the final method is in the actual carrier itself. And I actually have that carrier. Still need to do a video. Now, in that would go just the suit in all of those scenarios. Except for when it's on the vest, then you'd have the boots tied to each side as well. Or when it's where the flash goes on your suspenders, you'd have the boots tucked in there too. But on a normal case, with the carrier, which I have all this, so I'll do a video, but what you'd have in the carrier would be just a suit, and then there would be a separate bag that goes on your belt, which I also have, obviously. You would have your 2 boots, and then you'd have your winter and summer gloves, your sets. All those would go in a bag, and that'd go on your belt. And then you'd have your gas mask bag with the decon kit, and you'd have your medical kit with all your anti-radiation pills and stuff like that in your pocket. And then you'd have that's pretty much it for NBC. For Soviet Union. Also, I've seen, but I've only seen these in videos about NBC, Soviet military videos about NBC, so I can't say that this is how it would really be. But I've seen in pictures, or on the video, where they'd have those little green cases that hold those goggles, and the goggles are tinted basically in case of a nuclear flash. You seen those, Jake?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen those on the pictures, right behind the mag pouch, and I've seen them right before the mag pouch.
Didn't they also wear those if they were anti-aircraft using the Strellas?
Maybe. I really don't know.
They used goggles, but I didn't know if they were the tinted ones or not.
I do not know. I can't say. Now, that's pretty much it for Soviet. Now, let's just go west from there. Let's go to Poland. Now, I know about Poland as well. Now, Poland would have on their back, now there's a few different types, but let's just speak about the most common and most easy to, no matter what, they always have a carrier that holds it on the back. The first type is just a free carrier. It just goes around your shoulders. So that's that. And you put your suit and boots in there. Second type of carrier, it's like a bag that attaches to the suspenders. It holds your boots and your suit still. The Polish called it the OP1. Now the gloves with the liner would go in the gas mask bag with the gas mask and filter and hose and all that. And then you'd have a decon kit in the side, and then you'd have your dosimeter in one of your pockets.
You had your personal anti-radiation kit in your
pills and the syringes and
little hidden
things.
pocket
Yep.
in your jacket.
And then that's pretty much it for them as well on what they had for NBC. That's basic. Now let's go over again to the DDR or East Germany. They would have the chemical suit on the back. Then they'd have their gas mask bag on their side. In the chemical suit bag, they'd have the boots and the suit. And this was called the SBU-1, right? Or is it 2? Which one is the one piece and which one's the two piece?
I can't remember right now. I would think the 1 is probably what the 1 piece.
SBU-1. I believe that's what it's called. I'm looking it up. SBU-1. Suit. DDR. SBU. Okay, that's not it. I don't know what the name is. I apologize. I really do. I don't remember what it's called. But the East German suit. Just type in East German chemical suit and you'll find it. It's on Google, so that'll be your safety from there. Now, in their gas mask bag, which is rubberized, which I like, you'd have your mask, your filter, your hose. That's simple. And then you'd have your emergency poncho, which you could use, and it kind of reminds me of the Czech one.
Yeah, it's the same material, kind of, I think. It's just even more simplified, but...
Yeah, all it is like a green, green material.
Square that you fold out, and it's just like a rain cape, basically.
Yeah, it's just in case your suit happened to spring a little leak or something from liquid. You can protect.
Well, you're supposed to put that on and then wear your mask. That is, if you don't have your chemical suit, or if you're just caught off guard and you don't have time to put your chemical suit on. I think that's the guide.
If you have,
besides that, you'd also have your gloves and your liners in there, and then you'd have your decon kit, and then certain soldiers. I haven't been able to understand who would have them, but I know that they have East German chemical paper, and I have them. They'd go in the bag. I don't know if they always have them or not, but I have them, so whatever. And I actually have Soviet chemical paper too, and that was I should have talked about that, but it's nothing really important.
Well, if not every soldier had them, maybe the officer or NCO had one, and they would test for the unit, kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. But anyways.
Luke, can I add one more thing about the chemical poncho?
Go ahead.
If you do have it and you are trying to unroll it, be warned, it's damn near impossible to get it rolled up the exact same way that came out of the factory. So, just saying. No, I didn't.
Oh, I've done it. I actually got it folded back up, but I was lucky. So.
It's pretty hard. I'm
sure they were probably trained to do it.
I mean,
well, considering an emergency poncho is meant to be used once and then tossed off, and then get a new one.
Yeah, and then you'd be issued a new one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the regular suit. Never mind.
No. I mean, something that's interesting. Do any of you guys know of the? This is kind of going to Western. This isn't even Cold War, but have you seen the World War II U.S. chemical poncho?
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Chemical ponchos.
Yeah. But anyways,
so I guess move southward a little bit to Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, down to Czechoslovakia, what you have is, and I'm talking 70s and 80s, because I'm not going to go even back, because that's just more confusing, more information to cover. We can do a separate video on NBC at the Warsaw Pact later on, but basically what you have is you have your M10, or M10M, post-82.
Yeah, as we get into the 80s.
And then In that bag, you'd also have your decon kit, your auto injector. Oh, actually, back it up to East German. I apologize. They also had in their left leg pocket, they'd carry an auto injector set, which had an injector. Well, it depends. You either have regular injectors or you'd have auto injectors, or you'd have one or the other. So, anyways, back to Czech, Slovakia. I apologize for that. They had dosimeters. They had several different types, which would go in the pocket. You'd have your decon kit, which would go in one of your pockets. And then you'd have like some anti-radiation pills and some other stuff like that go in your pocket. But anyways, in the gas mask, you'd have the gas mask, you'd have the, I think you have a spare set of filters, then you have the chemical suit, all on your bag, on your side, which is very convenient.
Yeah, and the bag itself is actually a pretty convenient design. I mean, it gets a little shoddy once it gets into the 80s because they replace a lot of things with plastic and really crappy vinyl, but the bag does go over your shoulder, attach around your waist, and has belt loops as well, so it's pretty secure. Much like the Polish one, where it attaches to everything and doesn't move.
Polish one's better though.
Yeah, it is. The Polish one's much better.
Anyways, now from Czechoslovakia down to Hungary, the last one we will talk about, and then we'll start moving on to other topics. With Czechoslovakia, what you'd have is, or Hungary. Yeah. What you have is you'd have your gas mask and bag. And they used to copy the PMG, Soviet PMG. Now, you'd have various types of medications, injectors, pills. Then you'd have your decon kit. And then you'd have, on the outside, there's two strings. And what you tie to or ropes or straps or whatever you want to call them, you tie your gloves, which you roll the gloves with the boots, and then that gets tied to the outside of the bag. And then on your back, you'd have the chemical suit rolled up in a carrier. Kind of like the Soviets, except instead of having a separate bag for the boots and gloves, it's just tied to the gas mask bag. But I've been told that a common thing that was done was they just tie the mess kit to it, which is kind of neat. But anyways, that's really it for Hungary, and that's it for NBC for them. Like I said, I can't really say much about Romania. I don't know about their suits. I was told that they never carried suits, which is interesting.
See, I don't know about Romania too much on their suits. I have a picture of a guy in his suit, but I have no clue as to where it would be carried, if carried, how often it would be carried, and or even where the decon kit would be, which it probably is in the bag. But the one I have is really large. But we have seen the one online that's smaller, and I've never actually seen it anywhere else. It's just that information has yet to come out, I guess.
Romania is a very unknown area of the Warsaw Pact. So is Bulgaria.
Yeah, Bulgaria too, and whatever in the few years that Albania